being the only American in a van full of Brits, you hear so much about America that they just despise. I'm like, you're not wrong, but I'm also right here in the back, guys. Come on, like, hi, hello.
So we are now joined on the podcast by someone I met last year in Toronto. It's Black Guy Fawkes. How you doing?
Doing good, man. Really good to see you.
Yeah, it was a bizarre meeting, but I love it. It was at Lost Evenings in Toronto, and we met at the after party, and both basically not speaking to anyone.
Yeah, I used to watch your interviews like all the time, and I then I noticed that you look like one of my good friends, Aaron Outman. I remember I showed you that
Yeah,
photo like that day. It was just uncanny.
yeah. It was because I love the fact that I'm kind of go straight into this. We're both in jobs where we seem very confident, but in fact, we both don't like approaching people we don't know. We're both very shy, but we're both in positions where you kind of need to be a little bit out there. But and like yeah, so we spoke at the after party at Lost Stevens, and it was great. And then obviously you got an album coming out and your fifth album coming out. Like it's just been a really cool little ride.
It has been like, and I it's weird because I think stuff didn't take off for me really because I used to play like locally around my area like a good bit. I only won like maybe like one small tour, but things didn't really kick off for me until like put out my fourth record, The Truth of Lullabies. Then as soon as I put that out, that's when I got signed to Asbestos Records. That's when I met Frank, and then just shit just started going off. I'm like, this is awesome, but I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
So
we will have to talk about Frank at some point. But I kind of notice I do talk about him in most of my interviews at some point. I'll get him in there because I just love him. But yeah, so I don't really know much of your backstory, because obviously we only met recently. So where did music begin for you? Like, when was the first time you remember either picking up a guitar or singing along and thinking, I want to do this?
it's an interesting thing. So I my family wasn't really that musical. I don't really know my dad, but I know that he used to work with people like Earth, Wind and Fire and stuff. That's like audio engineer, but I didn't really know him like that. But when I was in the car, like with my mom when I was younger, but she'll always have me pick out these different instruments I will hear in every single song, and like she'll have stuff like she'll have Tupac in the car, she'll have Queen, she'll have Beatles, she'll have Buena Vista Club, like all these different acts, and I didn't really find my musical identity till probably when I hit middle school. So I was just sitting on the couch one day watching MTV, and they played My Chemical Romance, I'm Not Okay, which hooked me from the start because I was just starting at a Catholic school. And like this oddly on the nose. But I found this like form of rebellion into it because I found Green Day at the time, and those are like the two bands that pushed me to play guitar, honestly. I just want to pick it up just to try it out. And then I just stuck with it like just years later. And there's one point where I was falling out of love with music, like I didn't know if I want to do it anymore, like when I hit college. And then my friend gave me Love Iron song on CD, and I listened to it. Then saw Frank like that September of 2012, and that's when I said, "This is what I want to do. This is exactly how I want to be as an artist." So I think yeah, I feel like that's probably middle school, then like my college years. That's when I realized I wanted to do music for a living
Yeah. So
and just love music.
the first sort of alternative band then, so My Chem, that's a great way into alternative music. And then yeah, Green Day, love them. And then yeah, so Frank, that was the biggest push then. Love song, I love REN song. That was the biggest push for you.
Yeah, I would say so. Like, I used to play in bands when I was in college and when I was in high school as well. But I was always worried about finding other people to work with. But then, when I found him, I found I could just do it myself. I can do stuff as a solo act, and it didn't really hit. I had a band in college called Dime Straw Poets, and my last year of college, we all broke up, and I felt weird about it. I didn't know what to do. Then I just said, you know what, fuck it, I'll just do it myself. And then, like a few days, then maybe like a month later, that's when I started Black Guy Fawkes, like 10 years ago. Um, and it's wild to think about. And yeah, Love Iron Song was pretty much just my push. It was something so raw about that record, and some stuff I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, but it relates to me.
Yeah.
in some way. So
And unfortunately for you, because you weren't at 2000 Trees, because it's in England and you're in America, we did see him do it acoustically in the Forest stage, which was just awesome.
we played on Puzza Fest together, and I was mad because his set for Love Our Song was during my set. I'm like, oh my God. I was so mad because I wanted to see that. I'm like, I still haven't seen it yet. I'm like, ugh. He did it twice when we went to play together. He did it at Sing a Song Day Falls and at Puzza Fest in Montreal. I missed both of them like an idiot. But
That was one of the few sets I was like, I'm 100% not doing interviews during this period of time because I had to go. So when was the first time? So obviously you saw Frank in 2012. When was the first time you actually got to meet him then?
I didn't meet him till literally Lost Evenings of 2023.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've been a fan of him for a while. Like I used to email him back in the day too. Like, oh my God, I love your stuff. But then I think the first time I emailed him was when he paid to fight Nicki Minaj like on Twitter, and then that blew up. But I remember emailing him like during that time. But yeah, I didn't really meet him until 2023. My label head and my manager Matt Flood knew Frank for a while because he worked with him in the States before. And then he showed Frank my new record. At that time, Truth of Lullabies, and Frank hit me up about Lost Evenings, and it just went on from there. And it was weird because we always had like friends in the circle, like Michael Schnabel with Messages back then, and other people too. But I never had the chance to meet him. I remember when I met him in um Anaheim, I lost my shit. I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever. And he gave me the biggest hug. I'm like, oh my God. And then he invited me on stage to do a dance song with him, but he changed the name Dan to Ian. And I'm like, this is the best day of my fucking life. Oh my God. And since then, he's just been real supportive, and I appreciate the fact that now I'm in a weird space where I'm now meeting people who I grew up listening to, and and it's an awesome feeling because I get to hang out with these guys now. I get to and we get to talk, but it's also this weird thing. Like, I hope I don't scare them away. I hope I don't do anything to mess this up. So I have anxiety. I have some anxiety about this stuff. I'm learning to kind of get through that too.
I mean, I'm in the exact same position as you with that, except I'm not playing music. I just, obviously just interview the people, but like I always after every interview, I'm like, did I do something to upset them? Have I ruined like like everything? I'll go back over everything. Going, did I? Yeah, maybe they don't actually like me. But Frank he is just a wonderful guy. Like every time I've met him, he has been truly amazing, and like he does give out so much of his time to other people to support as many artists as he can, which is just a wonderful thing. Like obviously, Lost Evenings obviously invited you along, and it's just an amazing thing that he does and that support he gives. Like without that sort of support, do you think you know you'd be struggling a little bit more like with someone like Frank supporting you? Like okay, we can do this.
I thought about that a little bit because it was when I put out Intrusive, or when I was writing that record, I kind of told myself I was going to do like a really dark time period at that moment, and I just told myself if this record doesn't work out, then I'm just done completely. But then as soon as I put it out, that's when all that happened. Like, you know what? I'm glad I stuck with it. I'm glad. So I do think that his support at Lost Evenings in Anaheim was a big catalyst for me because not only I just thinking for the music, but it's just the fact that I now get to I have a new community out through this too. It's not just him. Like I met people in back up. I met like Chuck Reagan, like all these different folks who also like vouch for me as well. And throughout most of my career, I kind of felt like I didn't have that support at all. But now I feel like I finally found my community,
Yeah,
and I kind of thank him for helping me find my community along the way.
yeah. I definitely
So
think Frank Turner's fans are they're quite welcoming, especially like Lost Stevens and stuff. They're very welcoming to everyone.
the last I've only been to Toronto with you and Anaheim, but those two times everybody's just so nice. Everybody's just coming over, just wanting to talk and everything, and it's surreal to kind of to think about. Like I said, I spent most of my career being local, and everybody's like, "Oh, that's just Ian. He's doing what he's doing." But now I get to go out and just people actually to people actually care about what I'm doing and actually are paying attention to it rather than I'm just there and passing. So it's nice to see that,
Yeah,
experience it.
because it's such a difficult industry to get into. Like music is so hard, and especially I think it's worse now because there's almost too many platforms and things for people to discover people on, and things are passed over so quickly as well. Like somebody will like, see a TikTok, go, that's funny. 3 seconds later, move on, and they've forgotten about it already. Like it's such a difficult thing to get into and to maintain as well. Like, do you find that? Like, do you find it's like it's a relentless industry, but it's the thing that you love, so that's why you keep going.
It is because you have to find these ways just to stay relevant, and you have to find these ways just to just to keep touring, just keep selling records and doing whatever you can. And I I do not know what I'm doing at all. I still wonder how I got here. I don't even know where I am right now. So, I have support of of my manager Matt Flood and a few people like in town, my friend Jake Matthews and my good friend my podcast host co-host Ed Kennard and we and I have them kind of help me get guide through these times and help me stay sane and not overthink stuff. But yeah, I'm just glad I have support. I have good close friends that help me kind of navigate through these like treacherous waters. And I spent a little bit of time in therapy. I kind of realized that these are just new waters, these new territories, but that doesn't mean that I can't survive in this industry. So I'm just going to keep pushing as much as I can
Yeah.
because I do
And
love it. I love the high I get from it.
oh yeah, and like I've had a listen to the Misery Suite because you sent me a link, and it is awesome. Like it's
Thank you.
just so cool. It's just there's just that there's just a raw energy to it, like throughout. Like it's just I can't really describe it besides it's just awesome. It's just raw. It's just punk. It's kind of like yeah, where you really want that sort of like aggressive punk sort of music. That's it. Like it's just beautifully done.
Thank you. That I it's funny. Like that record was not really funny. So I wrote that I started writing that record last year around January or so, and at that point, before that, I was writing totally different record that was going to be very much like Block Party style, but I wasn't really connecting with what I was doing. I was really big in the Block Party at that time. Like, you know what, I want to try this out, but I realized I'm not quirky enough to do that. So, but but then I started getting in. I don't know why, but I put on In Utero, and then I just loved how raw that record was and just that sound of it. So, spent a year from since June of last year working on this, and I was able to get like a grant from the Maryland State Arts Council for like 2,500 just for me to make this record. So I forgot I applied to it because I applied back in February. Then they said, "Hey, in April, hey, you got it." I went, "Oh, I forgot about this, but woo, I will make a record." And I remember I got back from tour because I was traveling with a few other people to Montreal, Vegas, Tennessee, then back. I got back and I got the check. And he said, "Hey, but you gotta spend it in 1 week." I went, "Oh," so I paid for everything in a matter of 2 seconds. So that's how I ever spent money. But but yeah, then when I got that, I'm like, you know, I got to go all out with this. So I hit up everybody who I could to see if they want to help out. There are other people that I looked up to that reach out saying, "Hey, if you need some extra vocals or something else like, let us know, and we'll do it for you." So I want to go extravagant with this record, and I wanted this to be a little bit more raw because back in 2023, I started therapy for the first time. Um, Went through a year of that, and I saw changes in myself that I knew were good, and I just saw myself become healing from a lot of stuff that I was running away from. So this record is pretty much about my therapy sessions. Like I I want to say it's a concept record or high concept, but I don't know. It will be classified as that. But yeah, I just want to write a record about what I walked into therapy with and what I walked out learning about myself. Just a kind of capstone, a milestone in my life.
Yeah.
So I'm finally glad that it's being finally being put out because it was so much fun making it, but also we had a lot of like technical problems like along the way with faulty software and stuff. But now it's finally out there, and now I can sleep at night. Now I don't have to worry about is this going to happen or not. So.
Yeah. And I love the way because I listen to it through and like the every time I listen to an album for the first time, there's always one song that tends to jump out at me, and I message you saying, "Ah, I think this song's great. I think it should be a single." And like, Oh yeah, it's gonna be, and it's Cause for Alarm, which is out now. And yeah, that one really, I don't know why, but it just proper just jumped out of me off the album, and it's just, yeah, I was like, this would be great as a single. You're like, yep, it is.
Yeah, Cause for Alarm. That was like maybe the third song I wrote for this, and the bridge is just it's about my anxiety of being in this new space with Frank, with Chuck, and all these different acts I look up to, and just not knowing if I'm going to be accepted or not knowing if people are going to take me here like moving forward. So just be trying to figure out how to navigate music and stay sane.
I think maybe that's why I probably latched onto it then, because I'm like I said before, kind of in the same sort of space where the anxiety of meeting all these people. Like, so for you, who is like the biggest holy shit person that you met? Like, oh my God, this is like at the moment.
Ooh, hmm. There's two. First one was Billy Bragg because I met him in Vegas, and so I was at Punk Rock Bowling Vegas last year, and I remember there he was doing like this hotel show on top of the rooftop. It was him, my friend Jen Pop from the Bomb Pops, and my friend Chesky from Kill Defendants, and um I think Escape from the Zoo or somebody, I can't remember. But I remember I was on the barricade waiting for him to come out, just be on the barricade while he's playing, and like there are like alternate stages. And I saw him load in from the side while another band's going on. I went, oh shit, he's there. I don't want to lose my spot, but also I want to say hi to him. Then somebody said, I'll hold the spot, go talk to him. So I ran. I'm like, Billy, and I just saw how much his music meant to me. I got a picture with him, and it was just glorious. The other one that was kind of really big for me that I was just blown away by. So I can talk about this a little bit. So I found myself in the studio recently with Jean Darnielle from the Mountain Goats. Are you familiar with them?
I know the Frank covered one of their songs. I can't remember which one now, but I remember hearing that one, and I know the name, but I've not checked them out too much.
Yeah, yeah, they're a folk punk group out of the States, and I found myself in the studio working with John Darnielle, like the singer of them, alongside being pulled in the vocal booth to do harmonies with him, and that just kind of blew me away. And actually, no, I would say Henry Rollins and in Toronto was also. He's literally 2 feet away from me. Like we're side stage watching Martha Wainwright, and like he pulls up, and I'm like, I want to say hi, but also it's Henry Rollins, but I didn't know what to say. And I don't. So as I grew up listening to Rollins, I don't have any Henry Rollins paraphernalia at all. What I do have is a VHS of him and Jack Frost with Michael Keaton. I wanted to bring up for him to sign, but I didn't want to get my ass kicked, so I didn't. Like, I'm gonna leave it home. It's fine. I still didn't get a photo with him either, but he liked my band name, so I can't complain. You told me that.
I'll take that. I'll take that and run with that. I was quite scared. I was only in the audience watching Henry Rollins. I was like, he's like a god, like he's like a myth, but he's actually there. So this seems like a really like exciting time for you. Like it seems like a really good time. Obviously you had your therapy, that's gone well. You've got the album, which was another form of therapy, which is an amazing thing to do. Like you seem really happy as well in where you are and like musically and things like that. Like what? How excited are you for this album? Because we've still got a couple of months. So how excited are you? If you've been sat this now for a while, like you just need to get this out there.
I'm excited to get out there. I fully feel like this is my proudest work. It feels like I started this project 10 years ago, and I had a different record planned out when I was first started. I scrapped it and started writing a different one that was more along lines of like Frank Keep Descartes era. Um, but the other ones right was like full electric, full band, like all that stuff. But it didn't really pan out the way I wanted it to. But this feels like everything I imagined kind of came together, and plus more. So I got to work with people like well, I can talk about this now they're on the podcast. I work with people like Lynn Lee from Back Up. She's on the record. Um, I got to work with well, he just sent him in by working with Angelo Moore from Fishbone. He did a quote on the beginning of my first single, Racial Battle Fatigue from James Baldwin. And that just happened out of nowhere. My label hit him up like one random day doing the quote. Then that night, Angel just sent the track back. I'm like, oh well, all right. So got to work with them. With my other friend Ian Legg, he does what's called a punk cellist, based out of the states in New England, and got him on there. Dave Haas is also contributed some vocals, which that was all. Dave is also somebody who I met through Frank ish. So I was playing a I wanted to open up for Dave in Pittsburgh, and I hit up his manager. Manager hit up Dave. Dave hit up Frank. Said, "So Black Guy Fawkes, what's his deal?" Then Frank said, "Oh, Ian, he's great. Get him on the show." I went like Dave told me that. I'm like, "Oh, well." Another is why I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got then I played Dave's festival this year, Singles Home, and I was able to get Dave on the track, and that felt like a dream come true for me because I also said Dave was also somebody who I grew up listening to and truly admired, and I was just glad to get a hero of mine to sing a song with me. So, and I got to work with other people that get some vocals on there too, like Kaylee Goldsworthy was a part of that. My friend's band Fat Heaven, my other good buddy out of UK, Tim Holhouse, Pet Needs, they're on this and gang vocals too. So it was awesome getting everybody who I've met in the last few years to all be a part of this and just kind of care about what I'm doing. Because I often feel like nobody really does, but I feel like now more than ever people are paying attention. I'm just thankful that they are, but also scared. Like I hope you like it. So, but you enjoy it, so I'm glad that you do. I'm
Yeah.
glad to know that some people are out there are really digging what I'm making.
Yeah. I love the fact that you've got all these people. So, like you said, you kind of had that you've been building this little community around you, and then you've got all these people you've met through this community, and then you've got them on the album. That is a fantastic little full circle moment. I love that. And I love the fact Pet Needs are on it. I love Johnny. He's great.
John is my boy. We did a we just went on tour together and in the States just a month or two ago. And I so I talk about this on stage a little bit, but I also feel weird where the only black guy at a punk show, but being the only American in a van full of Brits, you hear so much about America that they just despise. I'm like, you're not wrong, but I'm also right here in the back, guys. Come on, like, hi, hello. I remember we stopped at some gas station and Ryan and Jules from Penny's there. They're reading all the nutrition facts and saw how many calories it was, and Jules looked at me and said, "This is why you don't have free healthcare." I'm like, "You're not wrong, but shut up."
I like the food in America purely for that reason because it's just like, ooh, very indulgent.
We did like a small like house show tour last year, and we took them somewhere in Madison, Wisconsin, and it was this burger. There was like two patties and cheese and bacon, in it, but it also had two grilled cheese bacon sandwiches as the buns. And Johnny ate almost all of it. George only ate half of that. I ate all of it, and I thought I won a competition, but I realized no, I lost because we are all sick after that. We get to the next show, we're like, oh, we need a nap. This is not ideal right now.
So obviously you've got that connection with Pet Needs. Is there any chance of you maybe touring with them over here in the UK at any point?
So we have talked about that before because I was supposed to play at Fracture Party in last year. Well, this year's
Really?
Fracture Party.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we talked about that, but then I got an offer for Sing Us Home from in David. That was at the same weekend going on. But so whenever this happens, my mind tries to work like I can make both these work at the same time. So I was going if I was playing on Friday at Sing Us Home, flying out Saturday, and then doing Fracture Party. They told me to sing a song. Yeah, you're playing Sunday. I went, oh damn. Well, all right. So, but hopefully at some point I'll be able to come over with Pet Needs because I love those dudes. Like they are out of everybody who I met in music. I'm really glad I met them. Like they are just the best human beings I've ever came encounter with. Because we met for the first time and in Anaheim,
Yeah.
and then we did two tours together, and we stay in contact pretty much all the time. And there's a drink. If you see Johnny again, ask him if he wants some Malort, and he's going to scream fucking Ian because it's the worst liquor here in the States. I make him drink it all the time.
So is it Malort?
Yeah,
I'm
it
gonna make
it
a note of that.
is it is absolutely disgusting. I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, it is. But just asking about that, and you're on the laugh.
Yeah,
It's always a good time with them.
because you've played over here because you did that show before Show 3000. Um, so is there any hope of us getting you over here at some point? Whether it's Petney's or maybe just a few small shows for yourself.
I that's definitely something in the works. I definitely want to try to get over to the UK because I love it over there, and I want to play over there. The UK culture is probably my favorite thing of all time, so I just want to go over there just in general. Alongside this, it's kind of bad over here, so I'd rather be over where I feel more safe. But but yeah, at some point I want to try that maybe for next year or I'm trying to plan it out. I'll say that
Yeah,
maybe one day.
hopefully. Because I'd like to see you.
'Cause
Yeah, it'd be good.
yeah, I would too, and I love the Aces Nate show, and it was just it was packed. It was sweaty. It was so much fun. I'm desperate just to head over there again. I
Yeah.
get such a high from it.
So obviously, yeah, so we've got the album. The album's out on the 19th of September. So it's the Misery Suite, it's your fifth album. I always like to ask an artist, what song are you most looking forward to people hearing that hasn't already been out? So not a single that you've had so far, one that everyone's not heard, and you're like, this is the one I really want you to be like, yeah, that's a good song. I like that.
So, ooh, there's a song on the record called "Little Black Storm Cloud," and I'm excited for people to hear that just because we spend the most time kind of molding that. Molding that, I spend most time trying to mold that song into what it is, and that's a song that has pretty much Tim Holehouse, Kaylee, Petney's, like all the Mass Gang vocals, and they all sent them in. They all sent them in just digitally, just via email and in Dropbox, but the way it was mixed, it sounds like everybody was in the same room together, and it sounds so massive. I'm just ready for people to hear that. And there's another song on it called Glass Houses, and I got some very special guest vocals on there from somebody who is one of my close friends. I can't say who it is because it is a surprise, but I the fact that I actually got them on this record with me made me happiest. And what they add to it is just going to sound the same. And in my opinion, it's probably the heaviest song I ever wrote. I needed it to be. So probably those two and the last song called Spotlight because that song was very like in utero and Nevermind inspired. I really wanted that big like '90s alt sound for it and really paved it out. So those three in particular.
Yeah, I love that. I have listened to it a couple of times, and yeah, it is awesome. And I know which the heavy song you're talking about is also fantastic. Like,
But I really want to go outside my comfort zone for this record too. Like I really want to just to see how far I could branch out, just musically and lyrically as well.
yeah, I think you have because obviously it's oh, I find it odd. Like, how do you go about as just because it's just you, it's just Black Guy Fawkes. So how do you go about writing a song? Like, where do you start? Like, because there's especially when you got a whole band, do you just envision it in your head? Like, you know what you want it to sound like, and you're like, this is what I want you to play. Sound a little bit like this, like, or do you kind of let when you get a band in, kind of let them do their thing and just see if it molds to what you're doing.
Also, I when I write, so as far as like as writing in general, so I always kind of write. I don't like just writing just songs. I like writing records. So when I came with Misery Suite, that was always had that vision in mind how I wanted it to be. 10 songs, this grungy and kind of go through the motions of it. So it's planned out kind of like that. But when in the studio, I already have like the song like full band song already in mind. So I just kind of tell them like how I want it to sound. They'll throw out a few ideas, and then we'll workshop it from there. But usually, yeah, that's predominantly how everything starts out. Just me on acoustic, try to flesh out to electric, then yeah, let everybody in the studio basically tell them this is where you fucking up, change this around, like do all that fun stuff.
Yeah,
So
that's cool. So
and
yeah,
like I said, this is one we really took our time with. So we spent like a whole year working on it. So there's some stuff that has changed like since the genesis of it. So there's when we were demoing, I didn't have that many lyrics written for it. And so for racial battle fatigue, before I got the verses written, there's a version out there. All my Google Drive, it's all just meows because I didn't know like what the word's going to be. And my friend Ed has heard that version.
You need to release that.
I was going to for him for April Fools under like a different name. I just have the song very stripped down so people didn't know what it was. But I didn't get it done in time. But at some point, maybe next year, I'll put out the meow cut.
That's a B-side I want to hear, the meow cut. I think
I,
every
I
song now I want a meow cut.
I will send it to you. I got you.
That's great. So yeah, so we got the album and like, but you also have a podcast as well, which um I used to my favor at 2000 Trees because so like we said, we're not very good at talking to people. And we were watching Paris and Matt Mazier came and stood next to us. And I've always wanted to say hello. I never have done. But my wife just went, I'm going to do this. She's not knocked and went, we really like that podcast you did with Black Guy Force and where you talked about Radiohead. And he was like, oh, yeah. And then we just talked about Radiohead for like half an hour. And it was great. So
Oh,
I need to
hey.
thank you for that because I used you as my little in.
You're welcome. Yeah, I started a podcast. I always wanted to do a podcast. I never knew what I wanted it to be, but my friend Ed Kennard, one of my best friends and also my co-host for the podcast, I hit him up about starting because he had an old podcast he used to do back in the day, and I want to use the podcast as an outlet for me to just talk to people who I admire. So I think first episode was with Johnny. Third episode we did Frank, and we've just been having as many people as we can just along the way. So we just did Matt Nazir. Um, I'm trying to I've been on the road for like the last 2 months now, so I haven't had time to kind of get any more interviews under my belt. But hopefully, at some point, we're gonna pick it back up because there are a lot of people who I hit up about doing the interview, and I'm like, oh yeah, we can. When do you want to do it? And I just haven't responded back, so and that's my bad. But there'll be some more episodes coming out of that.
Yeah. Who's on your hit list then? Who's like the dream? Like if they said yes, you're like, oh fuck me. They said what?
So I before there's Frank Turner, my idol is Frank Iero from My Chemical Romance. He is just constantly busy with them, with Ellis Dooms, and with so many other people. And that's my white whale. I want him on the podcast so bad, so I just pick his brain about everything MCR, everything that he does musically. Well, love for him, John Darnielle of the Mountain Goats. Um, those. Trying to think of who else. Henry Rollins, I want to get on. I will want to get on there.
See, I
Although
reckon
I
that's do I
heard
reckon that's doable. That's doable. He loves to talk. He loves talking.
I remember in Toronto, like somebody told me he just talked pretty much the whole time, like just a monologue, and I felt bad because we're like downstairs trying to do open mic, but it was like bleeding through, so I was told to turn it down like a good bit, but that would be a bucket list to get him on there. I would love just to pick his brain, just hear him tell stories about everything back in the day.
Yeah, that's all his show was just incredible stories. It's like, how was one person lived through all of this? Like he's like, oh yeah, and that was Tuesday. I'm like, what? That sounds like my last 10 years. So what is next for you then? So obviously we've got a couple of months for the album. I'm assuming you're gonna do like maybe a small tour in the States. Got something on the
Yeah, so
cards?
we just did Camp Pennsylvania, so we debuted some of the few songs over there as a band. We are doing a record release show with my friend Endless Mike and my new friend Rain Blakeman. That's gonna be in Pittsburgh on the 19th, the day of the record. And I mapped it out for that day too, also for the record release that day because that is the 10th anniversary of my first ever show where I played this small parking lot festival and didn't know what I was doing. I just played covers the whole time. Now I'm here playing music all across the U.S. and London and in Canada too, and I'm grateful just to be here right now, be able to do all this stuff.
Yeah,
So we have that. Um, there's a few other things in the works right now that I can't fully speak out about just yet. So,
that's always the
but
way.
there's a good bit coming soon, hopefully, and fingers crossed. But this, I remember at one point somebody in my town looked at me and said, "Black Guy Fawkes is done." And then, but now I'm here doing this. I'm like, you know what? It's just beginning. So there's a lot more I'm ready to just put out along the way that I'm excited to talk about, and it's so hard not to. Like this record as well. Like I want to show everybody this whole record from a while ago, and I have to a few select and few great people, but I'm just ready for people to hear this. But it's so hard to hold on to it
I know,
and not
like
say anything.
it's got to be so frustrating because artists finish albums months before they come out. Like I would be like, it's done, putting it out next week, not waiting around for 3 months. Like it's ready to go. Like we've got it, it's here. Like put it on.
Yeah, man. Here, there's something I do want to talk about but I'm not sure it's going to happen by the time this comes out. But we'll talk about it after you finish recording. But
Ooh.
I got you. But, but yeah, this will be a lot of fun stuff happening. I'm just looking forward to the future. I hope people are tuning in and also pre-ordering the record as well. So
It's gonna be good. So that's out 19th of September. The Misery Suite, Black Guy Fawkes. Go pre-order it and then follow socials because that will help as well. All of that sort of stuff. Pre-save on Spotify, all of that lovely stuff. Thank you so much, Ian, Black Guy Fawkes. I love chatting to you. I'm so grateful that we met last year. It was awesome. And
we met last year. We got to hang out at 3000 together as
yeah,
well.
oh yeah, and that was quality. So thank you so much, and hopefully we shall see you soon at some point in the UK.
Hopefully soon. And it's so great to see you again, man. I'm glad we really got to do this.
Yeah,
I've been wanting to do
amazing,
this for a while. So this is also bucket list for me too because I love your stuff. Like, oh, finally get to do this show.
amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.